This video is sponsored by Lenovo. Welcome back to XJ TV. We're still in Berlin for IFA 2022 and we've just got done taking a look at ASUS's new folding laptop. And this is yet another foldable screen laptop like the Lenovo one we saw a few days ago. And the big deal with this one is it's much physically larger, it has a few interesting hardware differences to the other model, and just is a pretty interesting looking product overall. So it's got a 17-inch display, 2560 by 1920 resolution, runs a 12th gen Intel 1250U Core i7 processor, and has 16 gigs of RAM and a terabyte of storage. And just taking a look at this thing for the first time recently, it's big, right? Yeah, there's no way around that.
Yeah.
It's a folding laptop. It's got a big foldable screen, but it is pretty hefty, and it looks, if you open it out and sort of in like that magazine mode, it's pretty, like, almost comically huge.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, obviously, is that as well, it's going to be heavy, but actually what surprised me was that it wasn't as heavy as I would have thought, because while it comes in at 1.5 kilograms, that Huawei laptop we only just took a look at here as well at IFA was like 1.38 kilograms, and that is obviously not folding anywhere near the same way as ASUS is offering. So while it is hefty and it is large, the weight isn't actually that bad.
Yeah. I would worry more about putting this in a bag as opposed to the actual weight. I think that if you just have like a svelte laptop compartment in a bag, obviously this probably isn't going to fit in there. You're going to need to put it in the main body of that bag. And yeah, this thing offers all the advantages that you'd expect from this sort of category device. So you can prop it up in landscape but not portrait orientation, right? Yeah. You can attach a keyboard to the front, and yeah, you basically just have this giant portrait or landscape screen with traditional sort of desktop keyboard. So it's like having a big screen in whichever orientation you prefer with a keyboard at the front. You can of course fold it and have like a virtual on-screen keyboard, or you can hold it like a big giant oversized comedy magazine. Exactly, which I'm not sure if it's supposed to be used in that way, but you can definitely do that if you want. Yeah.
And one of the things that's interesting as well that I noticed is that while there is a gap in between the displays when you fold it, that's actually on purpose, because the keyboard that comes with the laptop, when you put it on the bottom display, will turn it into like a normal laptop. And the difference is that when you close it, as opposed to the Lenovo, for example, there is no longer a gap when you close it. It closes fully normally.
And there are one or two hardware features that this has that the Lenovo one doesn't. For example, a bigger battery, right? Yeah,
that has a 75 watt-hour battery and also a headphone jack. But you get a much higher price, comes in at $3,500, as opposed to the Lenovo one, which is at $2,500, but that one doesn't come with the keyboard.
Okay, cool. So not the same price, not the same battery capacity. It's easy to look at these two devices and compare and say, okay, maybe one is a bit thicker, one has a bigger gap, one's more expensive, but there are really some quite big differences between them in terms of like the hardware, the size, and like potential use cases as well.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So yeah, the ZenBook Fold 17 really has been quite a long time coming. It was first teased at CES back in Las Vegas. We're getting our first proper look at it now at IFA, but I think definitely one of the more interesting devices of the show.
Yeah, for sure. I think it also is a good indicator of how far foldables have come, between the fact that we now have two foldable display laptops launching at IFA, when previously, obviously, I mean, this was, as you said, launched at CES, but it was so kind of early on that they didn't even really have stuff to show for it, and this is our first time getting hands-on.
And as interesting as these two devices are, I think it's very clear that this category of foldable, the foldable laptop, the foldable screen laptop, is very much sort of a Gen 1 product, and it's going to be really interesting to look back in maybe like 5 years and see how maybe these slightly clunky, slightly more compromised devices, how they sort of move forward into something that's maybe a little bit svelter, something that maybe challenges the traditional laptop model a little bit more.
Exactly.
So stick with us on XDA TV. Be sure to subscribe for more from IFA 2022. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.